The function, we provided an introduction about the function last time, and we stated we have two types. We have the purpose, main purpose of the whole text, of the text as a whole, and we have the function of the underlined portion, underlined sentence, underlined word, maybe underlined phrase, underlined independent, underlined subordinate, whatever. When it comes to the main purpose of the whole text, make sure your answer is comprehensive, including all parts of the text. Make sure you understand the core of the discussion. Make sure you understand the topic, the focus. When you read the answer choices, make sure you understand the tone of the answer choice. Make sure you understand the focus of each answer choice, because college board test makers play with words. So, for example, the focus in the text is sports in Germany. In answer choice A, I see the two words sports and I see Germany. But the sentence begins with Germany is. Germany is. So here, the question that pops up in mind is the focus here is the country, not the sports in the country. So we must ask the big question, what is that focus? That is the main purpose question. The tone of the correct answer must be harmonious, consistent, the same tone like the text. Because main purpose is like, why did you write this text? If the tone of the text is positive, it's logically to indicate something positive as a purpose. If the text is positive, when someone asks me, why did you write this text? I can say, I wrote this to convey something bad. No, to convey something good, to convey something positive, of course. Okay. When it comes to the main purpose of the text, please, guys, add the word whole before the word text. The main purpose of the whole text. Read it like that. Well, you will not see the word whole, but add it to the text. This is like warning to your mind. The whole text means I must choose the comprehensive. Comprehensive means including all parts. I include all parts. I do not choose too specific. I do not choose too general. I just include what I see. I cannot surpass the boundaries of the text. In the text, I'm talking about Cairo. I cannot say Egypt in the answer choice, right? Because there is about a specific governorate, a specific city. Okay, that is about a specific drug. So it can't be about all drugs. I cannot generalize. Got that? So this is very important skill. We choose the most comprehensive answer, but never surpass the boundaries, never exceed the boundaries of that text. Well, so we explained the question 3 last time, and I must understand the text. Some students, unfortunately, read for the sake of just reading. No, on SAT or in any international test, we read for the sake of understanding what we're reading. The priority is for understanding. We're not showing off accent, but we read to analyze what we're reading, what we see here. So our priority here, guys, is to understand what we're reading. The problem is some students unfortunately say, when we read the text during the trial time, we feel that we need to reread. Catastrophe. Catastrophe, of course. Why would that happen? Because You're not fully concentrated on what you're doing during the trial time. You read, but unfortunately, some students, while reading, while on the test center, guys, they think of the reaction of parents when scores are released. What's gonna happen when my parents know my score? Some students do that very bad thing, which is self-evaluation, like, oh, I'm just I did that, but I feel that I answered this question incorrectly. Who told you? You are not a test maker. You are a test taker. You cannot evaluate yourself. So never think this way. Unfortunately, some students are pessimists. Like when they provide an answer, I feel that this answer is wrong. That is a real flop for me. Why would I answer the upcoming question? I already did really bad for the first 4 or 5 questions. Now you give instructions to your mind to stop functioning. Catastrophe as well. This is really important when it comes to tests of the same type like the SAT that tests your intellect. So that is main purpose. Okay, I understand. If you're familiar with the writing style of a text, that gives you great privilege. SAT test makers will never test your background information about any branch of knowledge at all. You will not be punished as you do not know anything about biology, physics, chemistry, or any branch of knowledge. On SAT English, you're being tested regarding your ability to analyze what you see. But if you're familiar with the topic you're reading, that gives you great privilege. You will feel that the text is very easy. Well, if we provide the same text to another student who is not familiar with the topic itself, the student may say that I feel that this is a bit difficult for me. I know nothing about baseball. I know nothing about basketball. If the same text, but we make the focus like a popular sport like football, you feel that it's pretty easy. While we didn't change anything. The argument is the same. The vocabulary difficulty level is the same. But the difference is that you're familiar with a topic, a specific topic, and you're unfamiliar with another topic. If you're familiar with that topic, you find it easy. That's why we say you're gonna read about all branches of knowledge. Some students, unfortunately, read read about what they like. I like literature. I like fiction. I like novels, stories, poetry. And Mr. Ihab, when I encounter a question that discusses a poem or any literary work, I feel that it is a piece of cake for me. Pretty easy. Okay, what about natural science texts? What about texts discussing something related to biology, chemistry, physics, or other branches of knowledge like ecology? You gotta read about everything, know something about everything. Got that? Well, so when I read this is a poem, archaic, kind of archaic English as I see the one, the, and the very easy still that will not tackle me. I focus on the core. I know that we explained this one last time. We focus on the core. So there is big difference between understanding the text from first person and third person. Big difference. I like if it is a question, if it is a big picture question, like a general question, like the main purpose of the whole text, like the main idea of the whole text, there is a third person viewpoint. There is a strategic game, not a first person. The first person view is limited. Sometimes when you read, you feel that you're limited with like first person. I read that thou with a stroke of mighty pen has told of joy and mirth and read the hearts and souls of men. So what you're doing? What you're doing? You will, if you do that, if you are too involved in the text, you will not notice the shift. We make shift from the first part to the second part, from the second part to the third part. If you're too involved, if there is first person limited, you will not notice the shift. But if it is third person viewpoint, if you're like on a helicopter taking an aerial shot, you will be able to see everything. Details, not important. When it comes to questions like the main purpose or main idea, there is big picture question. There is third person game. There is a strategic game. Details not important. If I'm taking an aerial shot, I'm on a helicopter now hovering over a city. The data I've been asked to collect gonna be like what you see, what buildings you see. I see a school, I see hospital, I see stadium, like that. I will not be very interested in knowing the color of the t-shirt of the guy sitting in class 12B in this specific school. They're gonna be very silly if I'm being asked to collect such data, right? I'm just being interested in knowing that I'm figuring out that big figures. I see two schools, two buildings, and two stadia. That's it. So here, guys, I see praise at the beginning regarding 2 points, understanding people, understanding nature. That's why A corresponds to my understanding of the structure of the text, as this text is divided into a general sentence, and then we have supporting parts, two supporting parts. That's it. Well, in question 4, we are being asked to provide the main purpose of the whole text. Main purpose, it is not about what do you see in the text, what do you read. No, it is about why. Why did the writer write this text? To convey what? We write, we write any text for a purpose. And the structure is important, as I told you. We rely on transitional expressions usually to figure out the shift that occurs in the text. Like if I see, for example, at the middle, if I see the word however, so I know that we have here a text that may be made up of 2 parts. First part is contradicting with the second part, right? If I see the expression, for example, at the middle, I know that we have 2 parts. The first part is general, and the second part is specific, right? This is big picture, and we need that when it comes to the structure, because the structure is a big picture type of questions as well, and it requires the helicopter view or hovering over the text. You are not too involved in the text. So transitional expressions are very important. Here, guys, Why did the writer write this text? Which answer is accurate? Give it a try, all of you. Just wait, guys. Haneen Haytham, you didn't update Zoom, I believe. And Jana Fathi and mm, just wait, guys. Provide the answer now of question 4. Oh my God. Yes. Mm. In the new chat, guys, drop the answer here, yes. In the new chat I created. Disabled? Just wait. Mm. Okay, no problem. Ziyad Salam, switch on camera. Well, thank you. Question 4. Let's read. I went on with my day's business tranquility, but contradictory, but is classified as a strong contradictory, like yet. So this is a very important point. Wow, here, guys, I see tranquility, and it seems like I'm gonna provide what contradicts with the business tranquility. So in what's before but, what do we have? What is the focus? Business tranquility. And what comes after? What do we have now? But every now and vague suggestions kept wandering across my brain of reasons why I should quit Thornfield. Oh, vague suggestions kept wandering on my brain and kept involuntarily framing advertisements and pondering conjectures about new situations. Oh, these thoughts I didn't think to check. They might germinate and bear fruit if they could. Well, that's very easy now. I notice that this text is divided into two parts, part before but and the part after but. The part before but contradicts logically with the part after but. Do we have any other shifts? No, no. Like the first part is about tranquility. Tranquility means like calmness, peace of mind. Wow, that is really positive. Oh, wow, that is really positive. While what comes after but the vague suggestions that kept wandering across my brain. I kept involuntarily framing advertisements, pondering conjectures that, about new situations and thoughts that I didn't think to check. They might germinate. What do we have now? That is internal conflict. Internal conflict. That is negative, of course, because the internal conflict contradicts with the tranquility of mind, the peace of mind. So there is contradiction. Why did the writer write this text to indicate two contradictory states, one of tranquility, calmness, and another one of what? And another one of internal conflict, right? So that makes, as most of you stated, answer choice A accurate to convey contrast between calmness and restlessness at the same person. Oh, wow. That is great. Okay. Answer choice B to emphasize Jane's loyalty to the people. Did we write this text to indicate loyalty to the people she works for at that Thornfield Hall? Actually, she's thinking of quitting Thornfield. She's thinking of new situations outside Thornfield. So, what loyalty are you talking about? What if we mentioned loyalty in the second part? What if? Or in the first part? Still, it will be wrong because that is main purpose of the whole text, not main purpose of a specific part. Even if I find discussion of loyalty in any part, still it will be wrong because I provided two parts here. So can you mention one part? So answer choice B is pure trash choice now. Answer choice C. To demonstrate that Jane finds her situation both challenging and deeply fulfilling. When it comes to challenging, we may have a clue about challenging, right? Because of the internal conflict. There is internal conflict. But when it comes to so challenging, yes, the situation is a challenging. She is kind of indecisive. She didn't make up her mind, just vague suggestions kept wandering across her brain every now. But her situation is deeply fulfilling. No, there is no mentioning of that. What deeply fulfilling? We do not know what's gonna happen. We cannot surpass the boundaries. She's just thinking of these thoughts. I didn't think to check. They might germinate. Some students, unfortunately, think that helping verbs in English are not important. I need to understand the word germinate. No, the word might here is more important than the main verb because it indicates the possibility of the action. There is might germinate. I'm not sure. There is not high possibility, low probability. So no. So what deeply fulfilling? I do not know the result. I just know what's going on. But when it comes to the consequences, I'm not really sure. Success, failure, who knows? So C is wrong because it surpasses the boundaries of the text. The text stops here. I'm not no, I do not know whether she gonna succeed, she gonna fail. So I'm not qualified to know whether it is deeply fulfilling or not. I know that it is kind of challenging. And answer choice D to describe determination to secure employment outside a Thornfield hole. No, that is not accurate. No determination. If there is determination, you will not feel the internal conflict, right? There will be no problem. I'm decisive, I'm determined, so I know what I'm gonna do. So that would be positive if I'm determined. But here, according to the text, she states every now and vague suggestions kept wandering across my brain. I kept involuntarily framing advertisements. Conjectures, just conjectures about new situations, like she's imagining scenarios with no evidence, with no basis. These thoughts I didn't think to check might germinate. And who knows? And before if they could. No determination. She is indecisive. Well, they might germinate and bear fruit. Here, guys, we have omitted might, another might here, but omitted because it is understood. Well, so no determination to secure employment outside the Thornfield Hall. That answer choice D ignores the first part of the text, the tranquility. The tranquility in the first part. So what is the focus of answer of the first part before? But tranquility. She says, I went on with my day's business tranquilly. The noun is tranquility. So tranquility dominates. Did you mention any tranquility here? No tranquility mentioned, but in answer choice A, I mentioned the tranquility plus the internal conflict restlessness. That's why A is comprehensive, including all parts, while other answer choices are with defects. When it comes to your trial time, you will not do such an analysis, of course. You decide whether it contains a flaw or not, whether it is comprehensive or not, whether it is consistent with the tone or not. But we do that for the sake of deep understanding. We dig deeper to provide deep analysis. Well, here, guys, in question two, one, I mean, one. What is the main purpose of the text? Why did the writer put this text? To mention something about the focus of the text. We write the text to mention something about the topic, the focus of the text. Well, here, guys, I see this transitional expression based on based on such finding based on such finding. So you mean that what's before is a finding and what's after is consequence based on such finding, right? What is the finding about? What is the consequence about? Let's see. The finding is about computer scientist Louis Volan was working on converting printed books into a digital format. Okay, that is not important because it is informative. You inform us about what someone was doing. Where is the argument? I didn't find the argument. This is informative. This is like before you start discussing in anything about someone, you start to describe that one. Okay, still we're waiting for that big moment. He found that some words were distorted enough that the digital scanners recognize them. Digital scanners could not recognize them. So what? But humans only could easily read them. Okay, so I understand the finding now. Words couldn't recognize by digital scanners. Only humans could easily read them. Thank you. This is first part. I'm really interested to know the consequence because the consequence is more important here because you tell me that based on such finding, we got to an interesting consequences. What is it? Von invented simple security test. Oh, someone invented security test. And we call it the reCAPTCHA test. Correct answers of what? Of the reCAPTCHA test. Proved the users were humans and added data to the book digitizing project. Oh, I understand everything now. You say that based on the finding before, someone invented the reCAPTCHA test. Oh, so you paved the way to what led to the invention of the reCAPTCHA test? Yes. So what is this text about? Mainly reCAPTCHA test. But we didn't mention reCAPTCHA test in the first part, Mr. A. We did. Because based on that finding, we got to the reCAPTCHA test. So the reCAPTCHA test even dominates the first part implicitly. That is implied here. So there is the finding that helped this guy to invent the reCAPTCHA test. So mainly that is about the reCAPTCHA test. So which one is accurate? Well, thank you. Well, yeah. To discuss Vonan's invention of reCAPTCHA, yes, we discussed the invention. In the second part and in the first part, what led to the invention? So yes, this is what dominates. In answer choice B, did we write this text to explain how digital scanners work? If you chose B, raise hand. If you chose B, you must answer the question. Now, you tell us that the writer wrote this text to explain how digital scanners work. Okay, I'm really interested to know that. Would you please explain to me how digital scanners work from the text? If you chose B, you say that the text explains the mechanism, right? Then, can you explain that? Never mentioned. We never mentioned that. So B is wrong. To call attention to Vonan's call attention to, do we have call attention language here? To Vonan's digitizing project. We mentioned the book digitizing project. We mentioned that the book digitizing project, but is it the main focus? No. I see the book digitizing project in the last sentence. Correct answers prove the users were humans and added data to the book digitizing project. The most important word is the project or the test in the text. In answer choice C, you say that the most important word is the project, which is totally wrong, wrong focus. The most important word is the word test, because the second part is pure about the test, and the first part is a finding that led to the invention of the test that we call reCAPTCHA. So it can't be C. In answer choice D, to indicate, oh, I see reCAPTCHA now, but wrong thing about the reCAPTCHA. We explained how someone invented the reCAPTCHA test, what led to the invention of the reCAPTCHA test, but did we explain how popular the test is? No. So that is wrong because of this word popular. How popular is not discussed actually. Okay. And in answer choice C, we have the wrong focus and wrong focus in B as well. We're not focusing on how digital scanners work or the project itself or how popular the test is. No, we focus on the test plus the invention of the test, not the popularity of the test. Now, the two important answers here are answer choice A and answer choice D, because both mention the focus. What is the focus? The test. What do we call the test? reCAPTCHA. I say reCAPTCHA in A, I say reCAPTCHA in D, but in answer choice A, it is with the word invention. And yes, we discussed the invention and what led to the invention. So that is accurate. In answer choice D, we link the test reCAPTCHA with the popularity, something we didn't mention. So that's why D is wrong and A is accurate. Question 6. Wow. Question 6 is important, not difficult at all. You just need to understand. There is a poem by Georgia Douglas Johnson. Let's read for the sake of understanding what we're reading. Go forth, my son, comma, my son. It means you address son. The poetess is addressing son. So maybe mother addressing son. Go forth, my son, winged by my heart's desire. Great riches yet unknown await for your possession. I'm not if I would retrace the way with you. My pilgrimage is through, but life is calling you. What is the main purpose? Why did Georgia Douglas Johnson write this poem? Well, thank you. Here we go. The question. يا إيهاب. Answer choice A. If you believe that A is accurate, raise hand. Raise hand. If you're for A, raise hand. Answer choice A. Oh, two only. Two only. What do you think now, guys? Answer choice A, to express hope, 100% accurate. but that a child will have same accomplishments as his parent did totally wrong. First part is accurate. This is a very common trap choice. The first part is accurate, but the second part is wrong. How same? How same accomplishments as his parents? While in the poem we state great reaches, yet unknown for me. It's unknown for her. Await for your position. And what about this? I may not retrace the way with you. There is not same destination. There is not same accomplishment. And here is the big difference. My pilgrimage. What does pilgrimage mean here? Pilgrimage here means journey that is not related to religion. That means here journey, the life journey, not the religious journey. Here we have journey. My journey in life is through, over, finished, done. But on the other hand, my son, life is calling you. It begins for you. Life is calling you. So same accomplishments, because here we have great riches yet unknown. I'm not retrace the way with you if I would. So A is not accurate. Answer choice D to suggest that relationship involves many struggles. No, that is not the focus. Involves many struggles. It's kind of negative. Well, here we have a pure positive text. There is a pure positive text. So, no, eliminated. There is wrong tone, wrong focus. C, to warn a child that he will face many challenges, negative. And what kind of warning we have? There is not warning. It's go forth. It's encouraging. It's encouraging, not warning. It's go forth, my son. So what warning? And what challenges? That means answer choice D is accurate, yes. In answer choice D, the first part to encourage a child that is accurate, like the first part of A. Now, the first part of B is accurate as well. To encourage a child to embrace experiences life will offer. Life is calling you. Break time, and we'll be back at 6:29. Well, back again. Question 9, we explained it before. What is the main purpose of the text as a whole? The tone of the text is positive, not negative. And what dominates the text is the description of the setting. As here we have, it was bright, cool evening in June and a beautiful old house. Plus, we know that the two characters waiting for someone, the long expected guest. So to describe the setting as characters await visitors' arrival. Answer choice A, worries negative. Characters changed over time means we must describe 2 points, one in past, one now, and how the two characters changed. That is not accurate, contrast activity indoors and stillness outside, no comparison at all. Now, guys, question 8. Wait, this is the second type. The underlying sentence, or we should, no, we need one at the middle. We need one at the middle, yes. 5. Question 5. All of you pay attention. There is the function of the underlined sentence in the text as a whole. So you must understand the importance of writing this sentence at this specific point in the text. Got that? So I understand that when I read what's before and what's after, because I can't understand the importance of the sentence that begins with the word trees, for example, without reading what's before, because one sentence will lead to another. This is like the wave of the sea. This is wave. I cannot understand this without knowing the one before and knowing the one after. It is a must. Some students rely on just reading the underlying portion. No, that is not okay. I must understand the function of the sentence within the text, within. In the text as a whole, this is really important. It is, see, yeah, in the text as a whole. Some students, as soon as the question mark is here, what is the function of the underlying sentence? No. If you read the question this way, you will end up providing wrong answer, but it is the underlying sentence, the function of the underlying sentence in the text as a whole. So I must understand how this sentence functions in the text, not independent from the text. Okay? Well, let's read. Should we read this portion or no? Of course we should. Of course. Just wait. Should we read this? Yes, sometimes, not always. Sometimes it contains valuable information. Other times, no. What are we going to read that quickly? Here, guys, we know that in the text, Ohaisa recalls how the women in his tribe harvested maple syrup during his childhood. Okay, so someone is describing how women in his tribe harvested maple syrup. Okay, I read. Now the women began to test the trees, moving leisurely among them, axe in hand, and striking single quick blow to see if the sap would appear. What's really important is they began to test. So this is kind of testing the trees. They're testing the trees. So, Mr. F, that is not important. It is not the underlined sentence. The sentence before is really important. The sentence after is really important. Okay? And one important step is to ask yourself, is the underlined sentence mainly, primarily related to the one before or the one after? Begin to test. Okay. The second sentence now, the underlined sentence, the trees. Oh, the focus now is the trees. The trees, like people, have their individual characters. Some were ready to yield up their lifeblood, while others were more reluctant. My question is, what is the focus of the underlying sentence? Talking about people or talking about trees? What is the subject of the verb have? I see have here. What is the subject of have? The word people or the word trees? That is an important question, by the way. Yes, great. Excellent. More than perfect. Yes, the focus is the word trees. That is about trees. We discussed something about trees. And we liken trees to people. Trees have their individual characters. Oh, yeah. Trees have individual characters like people. Some trees were reluctant to yield up the live blood, the sap. Others were more reluctant. We describe like the people. Some were ready to yield up their live blood, while others were more reluctant. Okay, so that is mainly about trees. And when I say some and others, this is difference. I see the word wild indicates difference. So some ready, others reluctant. Reluctant means unwilling or lazy to do the thing. So what are we doing now? We kind of evaluating, we kind of testing the trees. Oh, what do you mean? You mean that this is related to the one before? Yes. And what's before we're talking about testing the trees, and in what's after the underlying sentence is about testing the trees. The trees have their characters. Some are ready to yield, others no, others reluctant. This one is ready, okay? This one, no, lazy, reluctant, leave it. So what we doing now, we are evaluating, we are testing the trees. Okay. What's after now? One of the Appalachian basins was under each tree and hardwood had driven deep into the car which the axe had made. Okay, now if someone asks me, this sentence is mainly related, my underlying sentence is mainly related to what's before, what's after, that is related to what's before. Well, answer choice A. Yeah. It portrays the range of personality traits displayed by women. Did we mention women in the underlying sentence? No. Even when we refer to humans, we use the word people. The trees are like the people that equals male, female, right? So it portrays a range of personality. I'm not interested in describing personality traits, actually, because it is mainly about the trees, not the people. So A is not okay. A is not okay. That is not the best answer. Well, answer choice B. It foregrounds beneficial relationship. No, thank you. Why? Why? Because if you say beneficial relationship between A and B, that means A benefited B and B benefited A. This is like that. A, B, beneficial relationship. A benefits B, B benefits A. Got that? Did we mention how humans benefit maple trees in the underlying sentence? No. What if we mention how maple trees mention people, humans? Is that okay? No, it will be still wrong because beneficial means A benefits B, B benefits A. And we didn't mention benefit actually. What is really important here is this word it. What does it refer to in each answer? It refers to the underlying sentence. So if you say it foregrounds beneficial relationship, you mean that there is beneficial relationship in the sentence. There is not. Answer to C demonstrates how human behavior can influence by natural environment. Unfortunately, that is wrong. While some students chose it, but it is really wrong. First of all, the focus is not the human behavior, it is trees. The subject of the sentence is the word trees. So that is not about people, that is about trees. Like people is between two commas. Did you notice that? Comma, comma. So that is what's in between is non-essential, not important. So the focus is trees have. Well, so how human behavior, we didn't discuss that. And even the second part is pure trash. You say like how human behavior can be influenced by natural environment. That is pure wrong because we didn't mention that The factor natural environment affect the behavior of the people. In our sentence, did you mention anything about like if you raise on like a, in a rural area, you will be aggressive, tough. If in urban area, you'll be like very gentle. No, we didn't mention that. We didn't mention how natural environment would affect the human behavior at all. So answer choice C is pure trash. That is not even about how about the human behavior. Answer choice D, it elaborates on an aspect of maple trees that the woman evaluate that is accurate. Because the first question is, did you mention think about evaluation? Yes. This one is ready. This one is not. This is evaluation. And that is about aspect of maple trees. Oh, finally, I find an answer that focuses on trees, not people. Aspect of trees, yes. And that aspect of trees is evaluated by women, yes. Women see the thing to decide whether it is ready or reluctant. So B is the best answer. Well, question. Two. Yes, question two. The following text is from Edith Wharton's 1905 novel, The House of Mirth. Lily, Bart, and companion are walking through a park. Okay, this is the House of Mirth, and there is Lily, Bart, and a companion are walking through a park. Let's read. Lily had, Mr. Ahab, why you read that? We read the underlined portion, we answer. Never do that. But it worked for me. Maybe because the difficulty level is easy. So we do this. I must read the sentence before at least to understand why this underlined sentence emerged at that point. Lily had no real intimacy with nature, but she had passion for the appropriate and could be really sensitive to a scene which was fitting background of sensations. Okay, if someone asks me about the focus of this first sentence, I say it's pretty easy. The focus is here I see scene, place, and sensations, feelings. Yes. So the first sentence is about place and feelings, right? Why you need to know the focus of the first sentence? Because I must know whether my underlying sentence is mainly related to the sentence before or mainly related to the sentence after. What do you mean? If the underlying sentence is with the same focus, place, and feelings, it will be mainly related to the one before. If the sentence, the underlined one, is with a new focus, it may be related to the one after. Let's say the landscape. Oh, landscape is place, right? You agree? Landscape, place. Landscape, subject of the sentence, place. Outspread below her seemed an enlargement of the present mood. Something related to the feeling. And she found something of herself feelings. In its calmness, it refers to the place, the landscape. It refers to the landscape. So, yeah, that is about place and feelings. Is it enough? Actually, the underlying portion is mainly related to the previous sentence because it elaborates on it. Right. Well, there's the same focus. You agree? And what's before we're talking about the place and feelings, and then what's after we're talking about the place, landscape, and the feelings, present mood, calmness. Right. So yeah. But Mr. Abshon, we read the second sentence. Oh, the sentence after, I mean? Okay, why not? On the near slopes, place of the sugar maples, where the bars of the line lower down was a massive gray arches, and here and there in lingering green of an old grove. Oh, yeah, that is really interesting, really interesting, because the third sentence is about description of a place, but place only. In the third sentence, guys, did we link the place to feelings or no? We didn't. There is description of what we see, but in sentence one and the sentence two, the underlined sentence, we link the place and the feelings. So our underlying sentence is mainly related to the sentence before. Well, why we need all of that? Isn't that a waste of time? No, it is not, because usually in the underlined sentence question, the function of the underlined sentence, we usually see next sentence, previous sentence. That's why you gotta read the portion before and the portion after. How would you know whether it's an example based on the general before or what? So, which one, guys, is accurate? Which one do you think is the best answer? Take your time, feel relaxed. It's okay to make mistakes, by the way. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. It creates a detailed image of the physical setting of the scene. Tempting, tempting, right? Tempting, but the scope, the scope is narrow scope. There is narrow scope. It creates detailed image. First of all, when you read the sentence, the landscape was probable hers in the enlargement of her present mood. I link the place to the feeling, but I didn't describe the place in details. In its calmness, vibes, breadth, and long free reaches, still, that is totally wrong. Detailed image, no. Physical setting. Did we mention physical setting? Yes, we did. We did mention physical setting. But did we dedicate the whole sentence to describe the physical setting? No. We mentioned physical setting, but we didn't dedicate the whole sentence to describe the physical setting. Remember that. But that is not comprehensive. It ignores feelings. That is about feelings and place. Now you ignore feelings. Well, all of you pay attention. Answer choice A would be 100% accurate if we change the question, making the third sentence the underlined one. If we underline the third sentence and we ask what is the function of the last sentence, it is your correct answer. Because the last sentence describes in details the physical setting. Yes. Answer choice A is accurate. If we make the underlined sentence the third, not the second one. Answer choice B now. It establishes that a character is experiencing an internal conflict. It equals the underlined sentence. Does the underlined sentence indicate anything about internal conflict? Internal conflict is usually a bad thing. And what internal conflict? Here, guys, the landscape outspread below her seemed at enlargement of her present mood. And she found something of herself in its calmness, breadth, and the long free reaches that is positive, right? So internal conflict is not okay. No internal conflict. We have harmony between the place and the sensations, feelings. So what internal conflict? Well, answer choice C is really important. It makes an assertion. It equals the underlined sentence. Read it like that. The underlined sentence makes an assertion. The next sentence expands on. Answer choice C is like that. We have general in the underlined sentence, and the next sentence, sentence 3, explains sentence 2. So this is sentence 2. Sentence 3 explains sentence 2. This is answer choice C. Does sentence 3 explain sentence 2? No. Or expand on sentence 2? No. Because if sentence 3, the next sentence, expands on sentence 2, it will be with the same focus. We notice that sentence 3 is about the place only, while sentence 2 is about place and feelings. If sentence 3 expands on sentence 2, it would be with the same focus, place and feelings. So C is wrong. Answer choice D. It, I will not read it, I will read it, the underlined sentence. Illustrates, explains, clarifies. Idea that is introduced in the previous sentence, in sentence 1. Answer choice D is interpreted this way. Sentence 2, the underlined sentence, clarifies sentence 1. Correct. Because sentence 1 states place and feelings without providing example or clarification. That links place and feelings only. Here, the scene, background of sensations. In which way? Would you please clarify how the scene is linked to the sensations? Here is the clarification in sentence 2. Clarification of the link between the place and feelings, between the scene and sensations. Scene, place, sensations, feelings. That's it. And it states the underlying portion is related to the one before, not the one after. So that is 100% accurate. Okay, question 9 or 8. 8. Question 8 is not that easy because we don't have what's after. This is the last sentence. What is the function of the last sentence? Give it a try. Well, here we go. Hmm. زياد سلام. جانا محمد. جانا محمد, message via WhatsApp right now. Message via WhatsApp. Well, which one? Okay, most for D, CD, or what? Okay, all of you pay attention because that is really important question. It will be the last question of the day. What is the function? Why did the writer write this sentence at this specific point? The following text is derived from Zorani stands 1921. Short story, John Brennan goes to the sea. John is a child who lives in a town in the woods. Read carefully. Perhaps. Mr. I have no need. You have to. Perhaps. 10-year-old John was puzzling to the thought during the Florida woods, for he was an imaginative child and fond of daydreams. The San John River flowed a scarce 300 feet from his back door. Okay, what's important is one is John was puzzling to the guys in Florida. Okay, sentence two, then the San John River flowed scarce 300 feet from his back door. Not important. There is description of the river, how it's far and near from his house. On its banks, at this point, grew numerous palms, luxuriant magnolias, and bay trees. On the bottom of the stream float millions delicately colored hyacinths. So here, John Whitting. Now, this is really important. Mr. Ab, when I read that, I felt a specific answer is accurate. There is not about feelings. There is about evidence. There is about understanding the core of the text. Here, guys, John Whitting, subject, focus. What is the verb, the action? Laughed. So I see here subject and verb. Why did we write the first part? To indicate what someone loved. What did he love? He loved to wander down the water's edge and, casting in dry twigs, watch them sail away downstream to Jacksonville, the sea, the wide world, and he wanted, that is important, he refers to John Whitting again, wanted. Oh, so that's not difficult now. We wrote this the last sentence to indicate what John Whitting loved, what John Whitting wanted. You agree? What John Whitting loved, what John Whitting wanted. Okay. John Whitting loved what? Wander down the water's edge and casting dry twigs to watch them sail to Jacksonville. Why? Because Jacksonville is for him the sea, the wide world, and he wanted to follow them to get to the same destination, to the sea, to the wide world. Why did the writer write this? Answer choice A. It provides an extended description of a location that John likes to visit. Well, here, guys, the core of answer of the last sentence is not extended description. Where is the description? No description, by the way. No detailed description. Why? How come? I see description here. Well, John Redding loved to wander down to. Now he is sitting, watching something. So he is not describing the location he likes to visit. He's describing what he sees right now. Love to wander down to the water's edge and casting in dry twigs, watch them sail down to the stream to Jacksonville. His destination started here, Jacksonville. I just mentioned Jacksonville at the point. So what's before is not about Jacksonville, right? That is the way to Jacksonville, not Jacksonville. So, well, and we use two words to describe Jacksonville and two broad general words. Jacksonville is for him the sea. Is it? detailed description? No. Jacksonville is for him the wide world. That is too general. There is what Jacksonville represents for him, not a description of the location. We know nothing about the location. That is what I know is just it is sea, something related to the sea. That's it. So did the writer write this sentence to describe the location Jacksonville? No, that is not accurate. There is not the best answer. As I told you on SAT, we compare contrast. We compare contrast. Well, answer choice B. It reveals that some residents of Johnstown are confused. Did we mention anything about how people evaluated John's behavior? Totally wrong. Totally wrong. Not mentioned. Answer choice C. It illustrates uniqueness of John's imagination compared to imagination of other children. Do we have any comparison of any type in the underlined sentence? Because it refers to underlined sentence. No, this is unstated comparison. Unstated comparison, wrong answer. Answer choice D. It suggests that John, and this is the key to the answer, longs to. Longs to is like loves, wanted. The two verbs we highlighted here. Loves, wanted, longs to. Experience larger life. What is a clue about larger life? This portion. The wide world. The wide world. Outside Florida, yes, because Jacksonville, his destination is outside. So answer choice D is the best answer. There is the best answer. It's very easy to get rid of B and C. On your trial time will be between A or D. You compare them, which one corresponds to what's in the sentence, describes the real function of the sentence. Maybe I find an answer choice that describes part of the sentence, not the whole thing, not the core. So I must eliminate that. We end up with D.